Hey friends, what's good? Derek here from Bomb Socks with more Bomb Bites, where we feast upon the words of Christ, one bite at a time. So I want to take you to probably the most well-known psalm out there. It is known as the Shepherd's Psalm, and it is Psalm 23. It is a massive 6 verses, but there's some phenomenal doctrine that is taught here. So with regards to sheep, I don't know if any of you have ever worked with sheep before. I have not, but I know many that have, and they've taught me some interesting things about sheep over the years. As I've taught seminary, I've asked, I'm like, how many of you have worked with sheep before? And I've collected a list of things that students and others have taught me about sheep. And so I want to show you this. So first of all, there's 10 characteristics of sheep. Number 1, sheep are foolish. If you've worked with sheep, you will appreciate that. Sheep are slow to learn. Sheep are demanding. Number 4, sheep are stubborn. That's one of the great qualities of sheep, is the stubborn nature of them. Sheep are strong. If you've ever tried to move a sheep, I've just seen these. They're just chunky animals there. 6, sheep are prone to stray and wander. Okay. Number 7, sheep are unpredictable. You think they'll do something, they do something different. Sheep are copycats. You've often seen them just following. You see someone doing something, the sheep will follow. Number 9, sheep are restless and anxious. They are always just right on the edge of major anxiety. Something bad is about to happen, very jumpy. And number 10, sheep are very dependent on the shepherd. Now, as we put all of those things together, what I'm going to invite you to do is go in and read those 6 verses. What phrases would help a sheep? Again, good thing this has nothing to do with us, right? What phrases would help a sheep who is foolish, slow to learn, demanding, stubborn, prone to stray and wander, unpredictable, copycatting, restless, anxious, and totally dependent? And one of the things I would also recommend doing is going to hymn number 108 in our hymn book, which is simply called "The Lord is My Shepherd," which takes its text right from this hymn right here. There are some beautiful versions of this song out there. I was going through trying to find some good ones, and there's so many. One of the things I would recommend doing is go through and find the Tabernacle Choir. The Tabernacle Choir at Temple Square does some wonderful versions of this song with the orchestra. It's beautiful. So go through and read this, and go through and find one of those versions of the song. That is a great one to study, and then let's come back and I'll share with you just a couple things. Okay, so this psalm is wonderful. Again, only 6 verses, but there's so much cool doctrine that is taught here. For example, probably one of the most well-known verses is verse 4, where it says, "Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me." And again, I'm not a shepherd, so I cannot pretend to fully understand this, but from what I've read, that rod and that staff, they are things that are used to discipline and to guide and to protect the sheep. I find it interesting when I was reading about thy rod, the very first thing I thought of is this rod of iron that Lehi talked about in his dream, this rod that will actually safely guide you through to the Savior. So that rod will help out with that. Now, the staff is kind of an interesting thing. I was reading something about a shepherd's staff, and here's what it says. It says, the staff is a unique instrument used totally for the care and management of the sheep, but it is only sheep that it is used for. The symbol represents the concern and compassion that a shepherd has for his sheep. Now, the rod, which we just talked about, the rod conveys, now think about this with regards to the Book of Mormon, the rod conveys the concept of authority, power, discipline, and defense of the sheep. It is something that will protect the sheep. The staff represents all that is long-suffering and kind. The staff is also used for guiding sheep through a new gate or along a dangerous, difficult route. He will use the slender stick to press gently against the animal's side, and this pressure guides the sheep in a way that the owner wants it to go. Thus, the sheep is reassured of its proper path. If the shepherd's staff is 6 feet long, I thought this was so cool. It means that his arm and hand can extend that far. The shepherd is able to use the staff almost as well as he uses his hand. So it's something that is able to help guide. That is just one aspect of this. This staff that that in verse 2. Maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside still waters. Oftentimes, as we are anxious and copycatting and we're trying to go all over the place, following whatever, you have got a shepherd that is gently nudging us to those still waters. Because in 2022, the world is anything but still. It is very turbulent, and it causes the sheep a lot of anxiety. And here the shepherd is gently leading us to still waters. Like I said, we could talk about this all day long. There's so much goodness in here. I would invite you to go in and study some things, maybe even put in the comments of where you're reading this, some things that you have learned as you've studied the Shepherd's Psalm in Psalm 23. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And thanks so much for sharing. We love that you do that. Please go check out our amazingly comfortable gospel-themed socks at bombsocks.com and have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Godspeed. Bye-bye.